Okay guys, so today we're going to be working on the DRZ 400. We're going to be flipping this carb over so that we can access our pilot and our main jet. So my issue this season was going to start the bike, had old gas in it, and in doing so, then I clogged up, I'm assuming, my pilot. So I put new gas in this, then she would run, but she wouldn't run without the choke on. So I'm just going to get this tank off, and then I'll show you what we got to do. So we got to just loosen up our clamps here for the boot. Take the hose off the airbox. We got to remove the exhaust so we can drop out the oil catch can, and then we can pretty much flip this carb over on its side, and then we can access the main nut or bolt in the bottom of the carb. We can take that off, and then we'll be able to remove our pilot jet and our main jet, which is all pretty quick and pretty easy, and then you can get this thing back on the road. So once we have our gas tank off and our plastics off, we're just gonna loosen this hose clamp here for the carb boot, and this hose clamp here that goes to our airbox, and the hose here that goes to the top of our airbox that runs from the oil catch can on the other side. Okay guys, so now we're on the other side of the bike, and you can see here's this oil catch can that prevents us from actually tilting this carb. So this needs to come out, but before we can do that, we're gonna have to remove our exhaust here. So it's just this bolt or clamp, this bolt, and then the hanger for the exhaust. So we'll get that off. So now that we have the exhaust off, we just need to remove this bolt for the oil catch can and these two hose clamps here, and then we should be able to drop this down and out, and then we can actually rotate our carb. All right, now that we got our oil catch can out of the way, we should be able to rotate our carb enough that we can access that bottom nut or bolt. One thing I would recommend is your throttle cables are here, which it's a pretty tight fit. So what we're gonna do is straighten out your handlebars so you can pull this throttle cable through a little bit. And then we can use this slack to rotate our carb. If you don't do that, you'll be putting stress on your throttle cable. Rotate this guy. Just like that. And now you can see we can access that drain bolt. And I believe this is a 17 mil. Yeah. That's why it is our drain nut. And there you go. You can see your main jet, and your pilot is right there as well. If you're having trouble with running the bike, it doesn't want to idle with the choke off, that would be your problem. So that's going to be what you're going to haul out and clean. Once you do that, put it back in the bike, it should run fine. Then we'll just chuck these in a little bit of carb cleaner, moonshine, soak those for a little bit, haul them out. Main jet's not going to be that big of a problem. It's going to be your pilot. So you just need a carb cleaning kit or something like that, something you can fit through the hole, and you're going to want to clean that jet out. Then hit that with a little bit of air, put that back in your bike, put everything back together, and you should be back on the road.